when you look at the history of the program, a win away from the farthest it's ever gone, how much do you sense in the program that it's a balance of achieving what this squad can achieve and also carrying some of that history along with it as well?
It's a great question. I think you answered for yourself. I talk a lot about vision. I talk about vision for the program, and one of the things that I had when I came here was restoring this program back to the place that it's been, and that's a consistent Sweet 16 team, and then take it further. And to do that in year two is an amazing feat. I'm proud of our staff. I'm proud of our players. It's a combination of all of this. It's a lot of hard work that's been put into developing human beings and volleyball players that are here. It's understanding that this is a long-term build, that we want to build this thing into something beyond what it even was then, and that's a program that's consistently in the Final Four. And I think this is pointing to the fact that we're headed in that direction. So I think it's a combination of history. I think it's a combination of this group in terms of creating their own legacy, and I'm proud of the work put in by everybody.
You're traveling to a place that's kind of a volleyball hotbed. I think the girls said maybe there'll be a full arena of Nebraska fans rooting for y'all and against Wisconsin. What is that? Being able to go through an area like that to accomplish your goals too.
No, and I think I talk a lot in here about the reasons why I took this job, and it was because of what I think can be possible, and that's a program that does go to the Final Four. But the other piece of it is building something that is like Nebraska, that's like Wisconsin. So we took this group to Wisconsin earlier in the year to go see that environment, to make sure that we took our administration there, that we take some boosters there, that people understand that it's possible to build what's going on there and what's going on in Nebraska. Sorry, and by there I mean Madison, and we can do it here. And I think that's a really, really cool thing that we get to go see both of those places this year in a rabid playoff environment. And I'm really looking forward to our girls getting to play in that atmosphere. I think they fed the entire year. We talked about it before this match of playing on the road. And I think we probably will have some Nebraska fans cheering for us when we get into that match against Wisconsin.
You've already played Wisconsin, but how much has your program kind of grown since last time?
Program as a whole immensely, this team immensely. And we've talked a lot over the last 3 weeks just that we've been playing our best volleyball at the end, that our strength and conditioning, sports science, and athletic training staff has us peaking athletically. Our jump numbers are the highest they've been all year, and you see it in the way that we're playing volleyball. And there's a confidence that goes through our team, and you saw it in that last match against Arizona State, where they're enjoying these moments. And that's the thing I could wish for any team in the world, that you get into these situations that are the things you'll be telling stories about your entire life. And not only are you excelling in them, but you're enjoying it for what it is. And that's why we play these games. So the last match for me was one of the funnest I've ever coached. And I think it was a big part because our players were just being themselves and enjoying that moment, and allowed me to do the same thing.
What's the key to kind of doing that, peaking at the right time, and such a long season? But how do you ensure that you're playing your best volleyball when it counts? Right?
I think there's some work that goes into that. Again, I'm going to give credit to our sports science, athletic training, strength and conditioning staff for making sure that physical piece is there. Because if your legs aren't under you, it's really hard to feel confident. If you're not swinging your hardest, it's really hard to feel confident. So there's some science that goes into that. And then there's some art that goes into that, of making sure that when you have a slump, and every team's going to have it, and we talked about it. Kentucky did it at the beginning of the year. We talked about the fact that Texas did it with the 3-game skid. We talked about the fact that Missouri did it right at the end, but right at the ship. And I think in those moments, you got to stay true to the team that you are. And you have to have those concrete fundamentals. And this is who we are as a team, and we're never going to waver from this, because when you start to have some doubt, you start to waver. But if you're so confident and you stay true to them, you come out on the other end and you come out hardened. And I think we did that. And I think, again, there's an art and a science to this whole thing of coaching. And that's the art piece of, can you maneuver those tough situations to make sure you come out a better version of yourselves? And I think we did that this year.
When you walked into this job 2 years ago with the group that's here and the group you have, could you have anticipated this kind of immediate turnaround success?
Yeah. And no, all at the same time. We were flying back, and I turned around to the staff, and I'm simultaneously shocked and not surprised at all. Can I answer yes to both sides of that question? I believed in the people that were here and the people that are a piece of this team now. I believe in our coaching staff and our ability to teach this game. And I don't think there's a better place in the country that you can go that's going to develop you as a player, develop you as a human being, and make sure that you come out the end of this ready to do whatever it is you want to do in life. And I think if you stay true to that, again, that's one of our core fundamentals, that we're going to try to do that across the board. People are going to develop. and people are going to improve. They're going to get better, and we're not done yet. Is the crazy thing. And we got another week of practice. We've earned that, and we have another year with the vast majority of our team in the core of this thing. And for me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I don't. We brought up that we played Wisconsin earlier in the year. We're a different volleyball team right now. They have their weaknesses, and I said it before we played Arizona State. Like, we're built to beat this team. I feel the same way. We're going to go into Wisconsin and we're going to compete. And they're a good volleyball team. It's a storied program. They're going to come out and grind. It's going to be a battle. But again, the thing that I'm loving the most is we're enjoying that we're enjoying getting into the arena and going and do those things. So I got a little bit of a tangent there, and I apologize. But to answer your question, was I surprised? Yeah, no. I'm going to go back to, again, I have confidence in the people that are here. I had confidence in our ability to build. I had confidence in the athletes that are still a piece of this program that are here developing into the best version of themselves. And the thing you never know is, are they going to 100% buy in? And I think they've done that. And I think they believe in what we're talking about, what we're about, the way we want to work. And again, I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I think we go further this year, and then I'm scared to see how good this program and this team is going to be in the future.
Well, you just touched on it, but Fenna and Logan both said that a big thing that sticks out to them about you is the trust between you and your players. Just how have you felt that? Because they seem to take that as a big part of the reason that y'all are in the position you're in.
Yeah, I'm a big belief that of two things. One, we talk to our athletes a lot, like, I'm going to treat you like an adult until you prove that you shouldn't be. And I think that's a unique stance for a lot of coaches. And I think that people need to be given some leeway and some freedom in order to have that trust. And there's been a lot of times where that's been close to broken, where we've had a conversation. And I think just the fact that I say I trust you means a lot to them. And I think the fact that if it ever gets to the borderline, that, hey, I promise you, like, you've trusted. I remember having a conversation with multiple athletes. I won't name names here, but like on a couple occasions where it's like, hey, you've given us your trust. I'm not going to break it. And I think that's a huge, important thing. And I think any athlete I've ever dealt with, and this is just me coming from the national team world, like, my job is to make them a peer. And they don't come into this program as a peer. They come in here and they need to learn. They need to get better. They need to become more responsible. They need to learn about the game. They need to learn how to talk about the game. And I remember Logan at some point in that match, it was something, it was her on defense at some point. We were having a conversation about, like, hey, I'd like you to get a step deeper. She's like, it's really hard because I'm up here trying to get the dump, and then I'm trying to get all the way back to the spot. And I'm like it was that moment what I've had with national team athletes where I'm like, all right, we're here. Like, you can tell me, hey, I hear you, but I can't do it because of this. And it's not like yes, sir, and all these things. And I'm getting chills right now because our team is getting to that point where I think they trust each other. I think they trust the staff. I think they trust me. I trust them. And that's a unique and special place to be with the team.
We talked with them just before, and just, they both of them have just become pillars of your program. When you first got here, coming off, tough season, just how much of a priority was it to retain both of them, especially in the world of transfer portal and moving around these days? Yeah,
I think when I came into the program, I told everyone, like, regardless of, I don't know how good you've been, how bad you've been, anything, like, it's a clean slate. And you got to earn the right to be here, and you got to earn the right. I don't know if you haven't before. You got to earn. Everything's kind of open right now, and I think across the board, it wasn't necessary. And I've said this, and I'll say this to this day. Like, my job is to earn the respect of my players to the point that they want to be here. So I'm going to say this on all fronts. It was like, hey, like, I was very transparent of, these are the things I'm going to hold you accountable to. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard at times. It's going to be awesome in these ways that I'm going to trust you like an adult. But I outlined everything. And I said at the very beginning, if this is not for you, this is not the place. I don't know if it was this emphasis of, like, I need this talent. I needed the right people here. And that first, 2 years was making sure that I was the right person for our people and they were the right people for this program. And like right now, I don't think we could have better people that are here. Whenever I'm recruiting to this place right now, it's the number one thing that I'm talking about is usually the people that are in this locker room, the people that are in our coaching staff, and then the second people that I'm talking about is usually the 12th man. But I think that first year was that. It was like, hey, am I the right coach for you? Are you the right players to be here? Is all of this going to work out? And it's worked out amazingly. And I think those two right now, and I'm not even going to say those two, I think our team as a whole is a pillar of what this program and what this university is about. I think they uphold the values of it. I think they're amazing human beings, and I'm really proud to be their volleyball coach.
and obviously you got a huge junior class, a lot of key contributors in that group. But the 5 that were here when you got here, 3 of them are everyday starters now. Just how unique is it, and along the lines of the world of transfer portal, that all of them have stayed and become contributors and just are probably key reasons why y'all are in the position you're in right now.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to what we want to build here. We want to be about development. And I don't think any of those players were the player that they are now when we got here. I don't think any of those players were the human beings they are then and compared to where they are right now. And I think anybody that's around our program will attest to that. But that's what we want this to be about. We want to be about bringing in a core nucleus, and the transfer portal is going to be the transfer portal. It's going to be there. It probably has to be utilized in order to go win at the highest levels. But what I would really, really like to be about is getting the right people in this program and developing them across the years that they're here. And if that's the transfer portal and they come in for less years, I get it, because it's going to happen. And at some point, people will probably transfer out. It's just a piece of college athletics today, and I wish it wasn't. But it's there. But can we develop human beings? Can we develop volleyball players? And the fact that we were able, and I think about this, and I think it's one of the things I was probably most proud of how quickly we did it. It wasn't fully just here's all these new players. It was here's this core nucleus that we've really poured time and energy into and developed into a group that can go to the Sweet 16 and beyond. And that's probably, I don't know, having Sweet 16 next to your name is a cool accolade. We get to put a banner up there, but knowing that the human beings and the players developed and the people that can go out and do that and go further than that is the thing that I'm most proud of right now.
You've definitely been the beneficiary of the transfer portal, though. Yep. Especially just Maddie coming off a career night. Just, is she kind of the unsung hero of this team right now? Probably
because she's so, I don't know, humble, quiet, and not flashy. Like, she has a couple moments where I can see this in my head, and when I'm dreaming at night, where she gets up there, and I love that version of her when she gets a stuff or something along those lines. But she's cool as a cucumber. I think she's the person that keeps our team even across the board. But probably the unsung hero, just in the fact that, again, she's not the person that wants the spotlight. And I love her for that. And she's turned into a really, really, really good all-around volleyball player that can dish the rock better than a lot of people in the country.
What was the feeling like after Arizona State, kind of the plane ride home, just the atmosphere and the vibes around the team, knowing that we're Sweet 16 team and our season's still going?
Yeah, it was happy and joyous, number one. Again, I had this, I think 5 different times throughout the flight, I was just sitting there, and I had my daughter with me, so she was keeping me occupied. But as soon as she started watching Cocomel, and I was sitting there, I'm like, we're going to the Sweet 16. And again, it was just this, and I knew it would happen. Again, going back to the question about the program as a whole and the length of time that it takes. And was I surprised in year 2? I knew it would happen eventually. I knew we'd get there, and I know for a fact right now we're going to go further. Especially after the experience of kind of knowing, hey, we're here, we're good enough, we can go do these things. And there's a different confidence about our team right now. But there was still a little bit of shock of we're going to the Sweet 16 and all sorts of different thoughts. And the team was happy. We took them to ice cream because our plane didn't take off until 10. And there was a lot of giggling going on in the back, a lot of happiness. And yeah, a lot of joy. And then for me, it's the team we played is coached by good friends. So I think one of the things I talk in this group about, on the humanity piece of coaching, I think the thing that sticks about the tournament is you got to go through this thing, and the connections you made in life. You grow up with these people, you come up through the ranks with them, and all of a sudden one of you has to go home and not play the next day. So that was also on my mind on the flight and thinking about that yesterday as we kind of got into this. But and then the other one I mentioned in here was just pride for the work put in by our athletes, the work put in by our staff, the development of the people across the board, to the fact that we've earned the right to be here. And this wasn't a luck thing. I think anybody goes back and watches that match and knows the thing about volleyball, we're playing really, really good volleyball right now. And I said it right before the selection show. I think any school in the country is going to be a little nervous to be playing with us or playing against us. So excited about what's coming.
What does it say about your team? You guys were able to kind of grind out some of them, Colorado State, Arizona State kind of push you guys to your limits, but you guys are able to come to the top.
Yeah, we've sat in here and talked about this. Colorado State was a really good volleyball team. And selection show came and it kind of went up there, and I'm like, oh, Colorado State, cool. They had a few losses in the Mountain West, and it'll probably be an easy out and go in here. And then I started watching video. I was like, man, this is going to be hard. And I said it beforehand the last time I talked to you guys, like what to expect. And I said fireworks from the two opposites, and we got just that. But yeah, I think getting through the match and the way that we were grinding in it, the way that it was uncomfortable whenever you get in this, I don't know, win and go home, it gets uncomfortable. I think the fact that they pushed us, like I talked to them before the Arizona State match, and I just said, hey, we're probably the only team right now on this court that's battle tested. And I don't know if we do, and maybe we beat Arizona State, but the way that we played, the joyfulness that we enjoyed that moment of competition, I don't know if we do it without getting pushed on the match before. So I think it says a lot about our team that they're learning. They're learning how to be in difficult situations, and they're learning how to enjoy those. They're learning that those are important. And the talk I'll probably have with them if they don't watch this tomorrow is just that those are the most important things in life. That we're able to be in a difficult conversation that might influence my relationship and know that this is important to get out the other end of it, that I'm able to go have a tough conversation with my boss in order to like get a raise or something along those lines. And we're trying to teach those lessons here as much as we can. So I don't know, thinking yesterday as I was reminiscing over the weekend, just how proud I am that they're starting to learn that right now. And they're starting to enjoy those situations that they can put them in more. So our team's in a really good spot. And again, I'm going to keep telling you guys, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of our staff.
Have you watched any recent film on Wisconsin?
Literally, I'm going to go finish this, lock my door, blast some music, and probably watch about 2 to 3 hours of film. They're a good volleyball team. It's Sarah Franklin, their outside hitter, is one of the best players in the country. And obviously, we played them, so I know them fairly well. But she, I don't know, is a very tall athlete with a very heavy arm. And the thing I was shocked about the last time is just she can control the ball. And normally you get people that size that, I don't know, are that athletic, and all of a sudden that's the piece you can pick on. But she's a well-rounded volleyball player. I got a lot of respect for them. I got a lot of respect for Kelly, their head coach. He's been kind of one of the people that, since I took this job, opened up the doors and said, hey, whatever you need, I'm here as a resource from a sports marketing standpoint, from a social media standpoint. I got a lot of respect for their program. So it'll be a battle. But again, we're not scared of them. We're playing really good volleyball right now, and I'm happy to go to battle with our group.
What's on your film watching playlist?
Depends on what mode I need to get into. Normally, we're big on studying what goes up on in our brain up here. So people say it's hard to multitask and listen to music that you know that has words. So I usually go for the low chill-fi study beats or something along those lines. Keep it a little low key, but if I want to go a little higher, a little hip hop or something like that, or like I've gone on a jazz hop lately.
Okay.
Like just again going back with that, I got a little beat, a little bit of like I don't know, sax or something in there, but no lyrics to distract me. So
Okay.
I didn't think we were gonna get into this, but we're going there.